federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted material without the permission of the copyright holder. You know, it's been over 2 years that I've started making videos against this organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. And on a regular basis, I receive letters in the form of emails from ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and from people who are still waking up. And one thing that I've noticed reading message after message, it's that there are no natural, normal human feelings among Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's why those people are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses or waking up Jehovah's Witnesses. Those are the individuals that have started being disgusted by the lack of love, the lack of natural, normal human feelings among Jehovah's Witnesses. And when you watch one of the last video clips that was released on faithleaks.org, and you analyze this short clip, which we are going to analyze right now, when you analyze this clip, you can't help but see why Jehovah's Witnesses would lose all natural feelings, loving feelings that most people hopefully still have. So let's analyze this clip together.
So Peter, let's hear from you next.
Well, when we informed everyone that the publishers were going to be redistributed to the North or South congregation, let's just say some struggled with the idea.
Paula, did you see? They have us going to the South congregation and everybody else from our group is going to North.
Yeah, I saw that. My aunt and cousins will be going there too.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. They should keep you together. Well, at least the brothers said that the list was just a recommendation.
Well, they didn't say it exactly like that. They said if we had extenuating circumstances.
So you don't have to go if you don't want to go.
But Kim, if everyone did that, don't you think...
Hi, Sister Taylor.
Oh, hello, girls.
I saw your name on the list for the South congregation, but your grandkids and their families, they're going to North. So what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
Well, are you going to North or are you going to South?
Now, sweetie, didn't you say you saw my name listed under the South congregation?
Yeah, but...
So, I'll be going to the South congregation.
Well, don't you think it would make more sense if you were in the same congregation as your grandkids and their families?
Does it make more sense? Well, that's a whole different question. The brothers outlined an arrangement. They said they hoped we could support that arrangement, unless we had extenuating circumstances, and I don't have any right now. So, for me, it's simple. Whether I think it makes sense or not, I'm going to support that arrangement. Oh, look, girls, I've got to go. Oh, and by the way, I hope to see you both in the South congregation.
Peter, you got a sec? We need to replace...
I think this experience well illustrates one way to show courage now, and that's by following the direction of the brothers taking the lead, even if we don't fully understand the reasons why this direction has been given.
Exactly. We've been told when Gog of Magog attacks Jehovah's people, we may receive direction that may not seem practical. So courageously following directions now will help us to do so then.
If you casually watch this little clip, you may not realize that there are some very dangerous messages in this clip. And the first time I saw it, man, I got upset one more time. Every time I watch one of those clips anyway, I get upset. but some are worse than others, and this one is pretty up there, very bad. So what are the negative, even dangerous messages that this short clip is trying to pass along to us? The first thing you notice is that in this organization, human feelings, what people feel, what people like versus what they don't like, it's not very important for them. So this message here is very clear. Even if you feel hurt because you are going to be separated from your family members, you are going to be sent in another kingdom hall, or you are going to be separated from maybe your best friend, whatever, this does not matter at all. And if you feel hurt, well, too bad for you. You have to obey. Obedience is more important in this organization than normal feelings. And that we see it all the time. Why do you think a Jehovah's Witness has no problem shunning you? Does not matter if you're their best friend, their own kids, their parents, their siblings, it doesn't matter. They will shun you if they have to. It's because this organization has shaped them to put their own feelings aside. And supposedly Jehovah is more important than their own feelings. But it's really not Jehovah that's more important than their own feelings. It's their organization that's hiding behind a so-called God that they call Jehovah. So that's the first thing this video wants to pass along. Normal human feelings should be put aside because they are not so important. Your obedience is way more important than your normal human feelings. The second very dangerous message that we can capture in this video, in this clip, is that common sense, something making sense, is also not as important as obeying your leadership. Really? What makes sense is not the most important thing there is? That is simply amazing that this filthy organization wants to pass along such a bad, destructive message. Did you hear what this old lady says? Now, does it make sense? Well, that's a whole different question. Really? Well, that shouldn't. The fact that it doesn't make sense should be the number one concern, as a matter of fact. So that's another very, very bad, dangerous message here. You know, I used to call this cult, first I used to call it a religion, then I started calling it a cult because I realized that it is. And now I call it a dangerous cult. You know, it took me a while, even after I knew it was a cult, to realize that it's a dangerous one. But the more you analyze it, the more you see that this Jehovah's Witnesses cult is not only a cult, but a dangerous one. It is dangerous to put in the mind of already indoctrinated people that what makes sense does not matter, when what makes sense should be the number one thing that matters. You know, I listened to a story of a young woman. She didn't grow up in this organization. She joined the organization as a young adult and didn't stay that many years. After just a few years of being a Jehovah's Witness, she noticed that she was very confused and that she had lost trust in herself. It is not surprising when you know what's going on as far as the indoctrination in this so-called religion, that someone who was pretty much normal when they came in started to be very confused inside. She was not trusting her intuition anymore. That is amazing, the damages that this so-called religion can do. When a religion teaches you that your normal human feelings and your common sense are secondary to obeying orders, they are preparing you to be ready to obey anything that may come out of the mind of those 7, 8 men in the governing body. That is very, very dangerous. You know, it is the same thing that happened to those people in those bad cults, those popular cults, where things ended very badly for them. So you may say this is not going to happen with Jehovah's Witnesses, but you know what? I hope it doesn't. Because if it did, if the governing body was telling you something outrageous for you to do, well, they are preparing you well, so you would do it. So be very careful. If you are still a Jehovah's Witness listening to this, be very careful, because you are told that your normal feelings and common sense, your common sense, don't matter. What matters most is to be prepared to obey orders, even if they don't make sense, even if they're not logical. And that, my dear friends, that's a very, very, very bad message if there is any. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, share it, comment, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye now.